We're live here from historic Franklin Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, here for the Spinners' home opener against the DC Current. It's 71 degrees and sunny as the sun sets in the distance to the right of Franklin Field. 7-mile-per-hour winds, but at Franklin Field, winds swirl, so that is always an issue regardless of the conditions. Both teams have 7 on the line, and it looks like they're ready to go. DC will be pulling, and the Spinners will be moving left to right. Spinners are in their blue Puma uniforms, while DC is in their whites.
All right, Spinners band.
We're ready to go, and that's the first pull of the 2014 season for these two squads. Nick Harnett takes a pull, centers to Dave Bear. Bear's looking, he puts it deep. Some contact there. Oh, and a drop. Patrick Divney can't come up with it. Nick Harnett was very excited about having Divney to throw to this season, but he couldn't come through there. DC with the disc. DC looking for an early break. Del Rico with the disc, Del Rico Johnson. A risky dump pass there, but David Cranston's able to pull it out. Brian Marshall around. He has a chance to jag it, but doesn't. DC playing patiently. Cantor with it. One of DC's best defensive players. He centers that disc to Del Rico, who doesn't have a swing. Cranston with it. Oh, and that one's pulled down by Connor Maloney in the end zone.
And that's a goal by DC.
Thrown by Fred. As they received a lot of flack over the course of the offseason about being a little too cautious with the disc at times and not being willing to take shots downfield. DC still had to work for their point early, and it's much harder to turn it deep than it is to turn it close. Ian McClellan, who's back after a year away being injured. David Brandoff with it, a new pickup to the Spinners after being away in 2013 as well. A lot of new faces here. Billy Maroon said that he was going to use everyone possible on the Spinners roster in the first half and see what matchups are working. That's a foul. That'll be a 10-yard penalty for contact. Spinners with it, get it to Art Shaw. Art Shaw, one of the Spinners' best players. He finished second in points last season for Philadelphia. Brandoff with it. There's a whistle, and that'll be another penalty on DC. DC not afraid to play physical so far. Brandoff with it. Gets to the McClellan. McClellan looks to the far side, and Scholl can't come down with it, and that'll fly out of the back of the end zone. That was a good try by Ian McClellan, but Art Scholl just missed his hands by an inch. DC disc. Spinners, with some new faces, especially on this line, and Billy Maroon said that he hopes that that makes them take more chances to be a little less calculated. DC with the disc. Their D-line trying to get another point. That one's put deep by Mate Castine. And that's brought in by Ben Fleming. DC up 2-0 early. Philadelphia will look to try and at least get their offense working for 1 point. Dave Bear with it. He can't center the disc to Harnett, but Rainwater fills. Rainwater back in 2014 after being away in 2013. And Divney will try to come up with this one that'll fly out of the back. A good attempt there by Philadelphia, but nothing comes of it. Philly's offense has had to play a lot of defense so far, which is exactly what you want to try to avoid as a team, especially in its first game. But DC's D-line getting a lot of play. racking up their stat sheets even before DC's offense can. Cantor tries to put it Doesn't come up. Alex Peters playing on D.
Philadelphia Spinners.
His put to Dave Bear goes long. Peters did a good job getting the D there. He's a very versatile player, but he just couldn't find Bear in the end zone there. Zai, who already has 1 point on the day, gets it, swings it to Del Rico, then back. Nick Hernet, the Philadelphia Spinners star handler, is able to come up with a big D there. There's a foul. Bear will move it up. Glazer moving deep. Doesn't get it to him. Fills with Rainwater instead. Rainwater finds Sheridan, who tries to push it in tight to Divney, and he does. That's the score. Sheridan to Divney puts the Spinners on the board. It'll be interesting to see how Peter Pryl, the new pickup from Boston, meshes with an already charged offensive unit with Markham Schaffner, who picks up and centers it to Alan Kolek. Calvin Ong moves it to Kolek again. Kolek, no surprise, led the MLU in touches last season. The disc runs through him almost all of the time. Peter Pryl gets his first catch as a DC current player, but Kolek can't come up with it, and that'll be Spinner's disc. So now DC's O-line will have to play defense. Pryl with good unmarked defensive Art Shaw. Oh, great layout, but Philadelphia is able to stay with the disc. Art Shaw with it, looking deep. He wants it. He puts it deep. But Pat Barone cannot come up with it. DC's O-line gets another opportunity, and for the Spinners, you hate to see that opportunity for a break be wasted. DC's O-line is going to score at will a lot of these points, and any opportunity where a player like Alan Kolek can't come up with a catch, you need to take advantage, but Philadelphia doesn't there. Calvin Ong with it. Moves to Markham Schaffner, who looked to put it deep. And he does to Peter Pryl, his new teammate. Pryl tries to tow it, and he doesn't.
Good job on number 16.
Big play by Art Shaw there. On D, that's a tough assignment for him, playing up against Peter Pryl, one of the premier players in the league, but Art Shaw there does a really great job of sticking with him and getting that D. Schaffner probably wants that disc back. He could have put it into more space and made it a little easier for Pryl to win that battle in the air. Philadelphia with it again. Leon Chow at the center of the field. Another layout opportunity from DC, but it doesn't come to fruition there. But DC showing they're not afraid to sacrifice their bodies. And Michael Panna puts it deep to Matt Esser, who lays out in the end zone, and that's a goal. That's a great put. Spinners will pull after having tied the score 2-2 on that great layout by Esser. That pull will land out of bounds. Alan Kolek will pick up. Gets the center of that disc. That's a bad mistake that you don't really want anyone to make for Philadelphia. Points, pulls are so valuable in this game to be done well, especially with the new pull rules for the 2014 season. And in the MLU, you have to, really make sure you don't make that mistake, or the other team gets it at midfield, as DC does here. DC will look to, capitalize on this short field. Pryl with it. He's been involved early and often, gets it to Kolek, to Tom Dye. Gets it around. Eddie Peters puts it in for the score. DC pulls it left to right. Dave Bear picks up, looking to keep it even. Philly trying to keep pace with DC, who was able to get Pryl involved early. Daybert gets it on an upline cut. He finds Rainwater, who's dangerous. But he'll dump it back to Brandoff. Philly having a little too much movement for dumps, and you see it affect them negatively there. They had two dump cuts at the same time, and then Bear didn't have time to set up, as Brandoff put it, and that's a turnover for Philadelphia. Brian Marshall not in. He'll tap it. Oh, that's turn. He downed the disc. Rainwater picks up, gets it to Bear, who gets it all the way across to Zumbrum, who Philadelphia is excited to have on the roster this season. Another newcomer. Philadelphia is full of them. And that's a timeout. Billy Maroon calls a timeout here, seeing if he can set something up to make sure that his team keeps pace. Looks like Ian McClellan will pick up. He has Hairnet and Bear back with him as handlers. Peters, Divany, Sheridan, and Rainwater as cutters on this possession. Multiple vert stacks going. There's a whistle and it's in. Rainwater with it. He finds Bear. There's a gust of wind, so there'll be a little hesitation on the Philly throwers to necessarily put it deep. Hairnet puts it, but the throw's a little low for Rainwater, and that'll be DC disc. And effectively, it's a waste of a timeout by Philadelphia there. You know, you do that to set up a play that'll work for your team, and Maroon's kicking himself that his team wasn't able to convert there. DC puts it deep to Brian Marshall, who's able to come down with it over Ben Sheridan. That's one of their timeouts. Philly, not able to put the disc into the end zone. Philadelphia needs to score here to keep pace, especially at the end of a quarter. Brandoff with its disc centered. Michael Pan on the far side. Both Brandoff and Pana like to put it deep, but they don't. A lot of tight movement from this Spinners lineup. Archol puts it there to Pana. The crowd soars as Pana's able to come down with it. It's not just assists from the handler position, but also goals. And that's exactly what Michael Pana was able to do there. 4-3 current. Calvin Ong picks up. Finds Alan Kolick. Kolick to Keegan, who hasn't been involved much early. Schaffner with a nice break throw. Kolick touches it again, gets it to Wodach. Keegan with the drop. Uncharacteristic of him. That one's put deep. And that one will land out of bounds as well. No, they're calling it in, which is a wonder. I'm pretty sure he was down. And he is. Kolick will pick up. He wants it further up because it never really came inbounds, and Kolick's right in this situation. So they'll get to move that disc up, have a shorter field, or will they? Referees will talk. This is the first game for them as well, trying to figure out what exactly the call will be in this situation. DC has a player, at the mark of where that throw went out. Calvin Ong was smart to hover around there to make sure that the refs knew exactly where it was going to go. And they do. Kolick pleased to skip 60 yards worth of distance that he has to cover to put his team into the end zone, especially with 5 seconds remaining in this quarter. He'll look for a quick play. He'll look to put it probably to Schaffner, and he does. Players huddle, and nothing comes of it. At the end of the first quarter, it's 4-3, DC Current over the Philadelphia Spinners. And Philadelphia is matched, in terms of their newcomers. They've matched DC with Matt Esser with a ridiculous layout grab in the far left end zone early in that first quarter for really fantastic play. So far, neither team has really shown that they're that much better. But in that case, Peter Prowl shows why he's one of the best. He puts it that they want to run, that nice and easy cutter movement. and scoring within cutters as well. Philadelphia will pick up. They would like some of that too, some cutters, putting it deep to other cutters. Divney with it. He's showing off why he's a favorite of Nick Hairnet. Glazer with it. He gets it to Bear. Bear has some time, but he doesn't put it deep. Opts to find Rainwater under as well. Rainwater with a nice break to Hairnet. He'll try to swing it all the way around, doesn't have it, finds Bear. He'll find Divney, who had a nice break cut, who just couldn't be found by Hairnet. Bear to Hairnet to Bear. Philadelphia was the only team in the MLU last season to have 2 handlers over 300 throws with Bear and Hairnet, so you'll see that a lot. Peters puts it in. Good throw by Alex Peters, a new addition to the Spinners this year. And he'll find, I believe, Ben Sheridan for the score there. 8:53 remaining in this second quarter. 5-4 DC Current over the Spinners. Spinners just got one back. They'll look to go on a bit of a run. DC with the usual suspects out there on offense. What a loaded cast of characters for DC this season. Almost every name had a huge game last year, including Sean Keegan, who has it, who moves it to Wodach. Sounds put deep. Markham will have to tow it, and he does for the score. Keegan finds Markham. Schaffner right at the very back of the end zone for the score there. Great concentration by Schaffner for the score.
Let's go.
It's echoey here in Franklin Field.
Let's go.
Alex Peters will try and pick that disc up, but that'll go out of bounds. He'll pick it up there at the 25. Peters looks deep. Glazer's wide open, but that's not a great put by Alex Peters. Wow, Patrick Divney with a great catch over both Glazer and Brian Marshall. That's a fantastic play by Patrick Divney. Fantastic catch, and the Spinners have some real momentum early in this second quarter. Wow, what a catch there by Patrick Divney. Another charge rendition being played. What a fantastic play by him. He's a favorite of Nick Hairnet, and he showed why there. What great effort to book it downfield and make a great play. Oh, that one bounces right off of Peter Pryle's hands into Art Scholes. So that one's put. But Patrick Lindsay can't come up with it. Calvin Ong wants his man deep. Eddie Peters with a great grab. Great put by Calvin Ong. A foul called on the play. DC's able to put it in easy for the score to Tom Doy. You know, a lot of big plays here early. DC last year was a highlight machine, but it's been Philadelphia who's been able to match them so far, at least highlight-wise. On the scoreboard, they're still down 2, though, the Spinners. Dave Bear picks up. Alex Peters, a new addition who can do pretty much anything. Ben Sheridan able to hold on there. That disc looked like it might have touched the ground, but he's able to hold on. Rainwater with it. Finds Hairnet up line. Great fake. Has his man on the ground. Has Cantor almost on his knees there. Hairnet able to swing it all the way around. To Sheridan. Glazer on that near side. To Bear. Bear looking. Good bid by DC, but it's back-to-back bids. So they aren't able to come up with it. And Dave Bear's able to put it away for the score. Good put by Dave Bear. Good patience by the Philly offense. 6:33 remaining in this second quarter. Art Scholl on the pull. Alan Colic will take it himself. Finds Schaffner, who will want Allen again. He finds him. Allen's one of the best in the league at moving right after he throws the disc. Good pressure there by Patrick Lindsay to force the D.
Turnover.
Good. Eddie Peters couldn't come up with that disc. Good pressure by Patrick Lindsay. Philadelphia disc, Art Shaw with it. Art puts it deep to Pat Brown. Oh, and it lands in Patrick Lindsay's lap. That one will come down around the 40. Schaffner picks it up off the pass from Keegan. Schaffner puts it deep to Colic, who's able to pull it in despite two defenders from Philadelphia wanting that disc really badly. Colic puts it in for the score. The usual suspects for Philadelphia on this point. Brandoff with it. We haven't seen him bust deep yet, but that's something that Billy Maroon thinks that he's more than capable of. Oh, that's a great D there. Great D. DC read what throw Brandoff was going to do, but then DC makes a mistake of its own. That one's thrown away by Freddie Zai. His intended target was Chip Cobb. Hairnet wants Philadelphia to come together and spread out a bit. It's a vert stack look, no dump. Brandoff with it now. That vert stack kind of disintegrates. Great cut there. Dave Bear with it. He'll want something deep, and he gets it. To Divany, who can't lay out for that disc. I'm sure he wishes he had just one more step. Timeout, DC, 4:49 remaining in this second quarter. But DC, they generally don't go slow. Colic centers it to Schaffner, who's seen the disc a lot. That combination started working at the end of last year for DC. Oh, but that's a bad mistake. Pana comes up with it just a few yards away from that having been a Callahan. The PA guy's excited about that turnover. McClellan finds Art Shaw in the end zone for the score. So Philadelphia ties it up, 8-8, 4:21 remaining in the second quarter. So far, stat-wise, no one has leapt off of the stat sheet. Markham, Schaffner, and Peter Pryl, both for the DC Current, have 2 points apiece. As for Philly, Art Scholl has made himself an important part of the offense, 2 points so far. And Michael Pana, who just got the big D there for Philly, he's been on the stat sheet quite a bit. He has 3 points on the day. Eddie Peters with it. He'll put it deep, late in the stall count. He'll find Schaffner, though, who slides and makes that catch, a little baseball slide there. A little push pass for the score. So on that point, both Markham, Schaffner, and Eddie Peters, that was the connection on that last point to put the Current up 9-8. Both of those guys have 3 points on the day. Eddie Peters, a name that's not, thought of as one of the big players for the DC Current, but he's made himself a valuable asset today. That's a bad mistake by Ian McClellan there. After making a really great play on the last spinner score, he'll want that one back. This gives DC a chance to go up 2. But that's a great D there by Ben Sheridan. Fantastic D. Saves Ian McClellan's side there. Great play by Sheridan. Hairnet with it in his own end zone. Callahan territory. Peters with it still. He'll look to get it to McClellan. He does. McClellan finds Glazer still deep in their end zone. The more throws you get in that end zone, the higher the chance of a Callahan. McClellan finally gets tired of it. He'll put it to Rainwater, who can't come down with it. Puts his hands in his head for a second. He'll want that one back. He's kicking himself. Rainwater hasn't been a big part of the Spinners offense so far, except for cutting under. He's a threat deep, though. He's just a little injured. Billy Maroon said that he'll still be a valuable part of the offense, though. DC moving. Hammer that'll go right into Rainwater's hands. Poor decision there by DC. Harnett puts it deep. He wants Glazer, but that's a great D there by Nate Castine.
Great job by Glazer.
Unclear whether DC or Philly came up with it. Ref seems to indicate that it's Philly. We'll have more once we come back. Leon Chow and Mark M. Schaffner as DC comes out of a timeout. Leon Chow, one of Philadelphia's best defenders. He did a good job last year shutting down, Jeff Graham for one big game up in Boston until he got injured, and then Boston was able to run away with it. So his impact can never be understated. Michael Panna on Alan Kolek, a tough matchup for anyone. Esser picks up the matchup with Ong. Great catch there. And that one will be put deep. Let's see if Peter can come up with it, and he won't. Peter Pryl can't run that one down. That's a DC turnover. Keegan to Pryl. That connection didn't work out. 1:45 remaining, the clock ticking as Michael Panna walks to get the disc, bring it up to the front of the end zone. Let's see if Leon Chow, who had a tough year offensively, can make some things happen on the offensive end to get Philadelphia a break here. Arshaw with it on defense this year, which is an interesting change by Billy Maroon. Interesting wrinkle. Paparone with it. Paparone to Lindsay. Lindsay. Panna gets it on the far sideline. Arshaw wide open. He has time. And he'll try a nice break mark throw, but that's a great D there. Fantastic D by Peter Pryl, but he'll call injury. He seems to be okay, but he'll call injury. DC disc. Peter Pryl showing his impact. There we go. Pryl walks off. Wodetch comes in for him. Kolek has it. To Schaffner. Schaffner wanted it deep. Good fake. Oh, that's a great kick block. A great kick block by Leon Chow. We were just talking about his importance. Fantastic play. For a defensive player, there's almost no better feeling than getting a kick block. He read Schaffner like a book there. Or like a disc, I suppose. Great play by Leon Chow. Let's see if the Spinners can put it in. 25 seconds remain. Spinners working backwards more than forwards, though. 20 seconds. To Chow. Chow lefty finds it. Finds Lindsay. 10 seconds remaining. To Panna. Panna, 6 seconds. There's a whistle. 3 seconds remaining. Panna will have to walk it back. I believe it would be a travel in this case. So his job's a little harder here with 3 seconds remaining. Billy Maroon is running all the way onto the field. He runs into his own man there. He was confused about what was going on. I'm also confused. Maroon is not happy with the officials here at all. The refs conference. Billy talking to Ian McClellan, who is a One of the rules guys in the MLU last season when he was unable to play. Billy's just unhappy in general about this situation. So what I gather happened is Billy Maroon was able to call a timeout with 3 seconds remaining. He puts in the tallest players he has on the Spinners lineup, as we expect some type of 50-50 disc to go up from Ian McClellan. That disc will be whistled in a second. He'll have 3 seconds to get a throw off. Possibly a hammer to the break side, we'll see. That disc is whistled in. McClellan puts it up. Rainwater's kicking himself there. If he had bid for that, he would have had it in his hands. And that's halftime. DC 9, Philadelphia 8. So we're back for this third quarter. After our 15-minute halftime. 9-8 current as we start off the second half. Dave Bear took his headband off. Interesting fashion choice. Glazer. Diviny is playing great. Diviny has really shown up in a big way in this first half. Oh, wow. Great defensive play there. Let's see if DC can capitalize. Bobby Gordon with a nice layout D. Read it all the way. Dan Cantor finds Zai. To Cantor again, break side. Wow, that's a great catch there. Bookends from Bobby Gordon. So DC pretty quickly takes a 2-point lead, taking advantage of the fact that they received the disc to start off this second half here at Franklin Field. It's gotten a little colder. Billy Maroon's donned his Puma jacket. But the players have stayed warm. And it's still a beautiful night here after a long winter here in Philadelphia. Brando to McClellan. Glazer can't, Archel can't come up with that one though. DC with it, Del Rico. To Castine. Cody Johnson, one of the newcomers for DC this year. A hot pick for Rookie of the Year. That's a 50-50 disc. And Connor Maloney liked his odds there. He comes down with it. That puts the current up 11-8. That D-line for the current gets to stay out there after earning that break. Nat Castine with a nice pull gives his team an opportunity to get down there. Nick Harnett with the disc centered. Spinners are looking to outrun DC in the second half, see if they can get a little tired. Alex Peters finds Harnett. No one around though. He'll find Bear. To Rainwater. He'll put it deep. A laser to Sheridan, and he finds it. He pulls it in. A nice play there by Jake Rainwater to find Ben Sheridan in the end zone. DC with it now, Peter Pryl. To Tom Dye. To Keegan. Big D there for Philadelphia.
Great turnover.
Leon Chow gets it to Pana. Pana's had himself a game, and he'll put it deep. He wants Brands. And Braz will pull it in. Nice play by Braz there. Leon Chow throws it to no one in particular. That's what he did a lot last year, and he does it again here. That's a killer for the spinners.
Good job, Brazzy.
DC with it now. Peter Pryl gets it on the in cut. He'll want someone deep. Doesn't have anyone. Has Keegan. Keegan to Schaffner. Schaffner, who's made an impact on this game. He has 3 points on the day so far. Gets it to Kolick, their main handler, who's rocking that headband very well with his long hair. Keegan puts it to Calvin Ong. Matt Paparone misreads that jump on D, and Calvin Ong pulls it in easily for the score. 6:36 remaining here in this third quarter. Dave Baer picks up, centers to Hairnet. Bert Stack look from the spinners. Deviney breaks out of that, gets it on the break side, finds Hairnet. To Baer. He has Peters on the open side, doesn't want it. Glazer pulls it in to Rainwater.
Great catch, Matt.
Del Rico on him. Tough assignment for Del Rico. Del Rico Johnson of SportsCenter's top 10 fame. Deviney pulls it in. Deviney pulls it in there, gets it to Baer. Baer patient. Rainwater, Del Rico Johnson with the layout opportunity. Glazer's able to pull it in. That's a tough foul there from David Boylan-Colchin.
What a great catch.
Nice focus there by Glazer. He'll try to put it into the end zone. Del Rico Johnson's able to come down with it, but Alex Peters is down. He took a beating there from 2 DC players. And that's an injury timeout. He'll walk it off, but we'll see if he's okay. Casey walks on for him. Schaffner comes on for Del Rico Johnson, who gets the D there in that position. Del Rico had a good point there, a few nice bids. So it's Schaffner, who puts it deep to Chip Cobb, who has Hairnet on him. Chip Cobb turns that disc over.
Great job.
But there was a foul called on the Philadelphia defender who's on Schaffner there. So Schaffner will walk it up 10 yards. Schaffner having himself a game. He wants one more. Let's see if he can get it. Freddie Zai. Cantor can't get that. That disc was tailing away from him. Tough position for him to be in. Sheridan picks up a little bit of a wild throw to Glazer. Glazer to Baer. Baer wants it. Nice fake there to get that throw off to Rainwater. To Casey. Sheridan. To Baer. A Hostak look from the spinners. Deviney tries to lay out there for that one, but can't come up with it. This has been a long point. 12-9 current over the spinners thus far. 4:07 remaining in this third quarter. Schaffner picks up to Dulabon. Dulabon to Chip Cobb, who dropped that disc as he tried to clap catch. Schaffner with the up line, clear space for Cranston, who finds Zai to Schaffner. He's looking for an up line. Cranston gave it to him, but not a good enough throw, not a good enough cut there for DC to convert. 3:30 left in this third quarter. The refs are running out of sideline discs as this game ticks away. Hairnet picks up on the cone, has Cranston on him. He wants Bear, but he's not getting Bear. Bear is centered, but deep in his own end zone to DeVinny. And that's a timeout there, called by Dave Bear. Ian McClellan puts it deep with that backhand. Casey tries to run that down, he won't. And this long point gets even longer. Time ticking away, 2:40 remaining in this third quarter. I'm sure DC wishes they had their O-line in right now to see if they can put one in quick. Their D-line having a lot of trouble scoring on this Spinners team. Spinners at the very least showing that their O-line has a lot of potential playing D for when they turn the disc. Brando with a good attempt at a D. Up line. Castine, he'll look to punch it in. He wants it, and he'll get it. DC opens up their biggest lead of the game as the Current take the lead 13-9, a 4-point advantage. Just over 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Philly will have to punch this one in. A little bit of a double team on Hairnet. Pana with it to Hairnet. Back to Pana, who finds Sheridan. Nothing downfield, though, for Sheridan to throw to. No deep looks. Great bid by Chip Cobb, but he comes up with nothing. Just grass in his mouth. Or black rubber bits of Franklin Field, to be more clear. Rainwater to Bear. A double team on Bear, but there's contact. That'll be a 10-yard penalty. Makes it a little easier for Philly to punch it in, maybe from Bear's hands it's himself. Great break, gets it to Sheridan. We'll move it along to Rainwater. Rainwater wants to score, he won't get it though. Except he will, he gets it to Leon Chow. He puts it in. Current's O-line, Alan Kolek and company, surely happy to get back out there. Kolek finds Keegan. Kolek has it almost in midfield. Moves it along. Peters with it to Kolek. A nice little outside in to Peter Pryl. Current able to maintain that 4-point advantage. They hold on 0. Spinners will need breaks if they're going to win this game. Brando has to take it in the end zone there. That's a new rule addition in 2014. Brando to Hairnet. A little bit of a zone look, some poaching off. It's a very loose zone though. Peters gets it to Brando. Zone of this level has pretty much been proven not to work for long stretches of time. But with the time running down, it makes sense to go zone. There's 1 second remaining. Hairnet puts it long. It won't have the distance though. The best thing to be done is a MAC, and that'll fall to the ground. The Spinners lose an opportunity there. Art Shaw pulling for the Spinners. They have a bit of a mountain to climb up here with just their last 10 minutes remaining in this game. They'll have to hold DC, get a few breaks. Leon Chow on Alan Kolek. Kolek gets it up line. Schaffner gets it up line, excuse me. He finds Kolek at center field. Kolek stands on the 50 at half field. He has the distance, though. He can make that throw, and he'll find Keegan, who makes a great layout. Great play by Keegan. Good run. Nice patience by Kolek. That gives them a 15-point lead, their biggest of the game. Didn't take the Current long to score there. They go up 15-10 on the Spinners, who will have to make sure that on offense, terms, they pretty much can't happen at this point. They have to be clean on O and let that D-line do their best to work back and make breaks. Bear with a nice grab. A little lefty backhand to Peters, who wants somebody in the end zone, but he doesn't have it. Nifty throw by Peters, though, to find Bear, who will get Glazer. He comes up gimpy, but that's still a great throw there by Alex Peters that set that all up. That's a hockey assist, as Billy Maroon would call it. Nice play. We'll see if Glazer's okay, though. Art Scholl pulls. Schaffner will pull that in quickly, gets it to Kolek. This is a tough position to be in if you're the Spinners, and if you're DC, it's exactly what you want. Take your time with the disc, have your offensive unit just do what they do. And a lot of that is just getting the disc to Alan Kolek. Schaffner's touched it a ton too. That's a nice put. It's a nice put by Schaffner to Tom Dwyer. DC back where they've been quite often tonight. Their D-line out on the field, looking to shut Philly down, potentially get a break, and really end this one before it gets a chance to begin in this fourth quarter. Philly has an opportunity to make a run at it, though. They'll need to score here and then get breaks. We have 8 minutes remaining in this game. Devaney to McClellan. He'll walk it up. And he puts it long to Rainwater. Let's see if he still has it. That's a great grab by Jake Rainwater. Rainwater has been pretty much the Spinners' only offense here in the second half. He has 3 points after having going scoreless in the first. Kolek to Schaffner. Philly needs breaks. To Kolek. A hammer, lefty hammer to Pryl, who can't come down with it. He wants a call. He's not getting it, though.
Great interference.
The PA guy just called it interference, which is kind of an indicator that there may have been contact. But Sheridan doesn't travel there, which is impressive. Panna puts it long to Casey, who comes down with it for the score. 6:57 remaining here. Lead down to 3 for the Current. Spinners get another delay of game. That's going to kill them in this contest. It's turned into a beautiful night here at Franklin Field. Wind still swirling a bit. Art Scholl's life has been made hard by Philly not being able to get out there on the line fast enough. He does the best that he can, though. That one will come down a little better than some of his others. That one will come down around the 35. Caller picks up to Keegan. Around back to Colic. To Pryal. He didn't get contact a few points ago. He'll get it there, though. A little bit of a flop. Pryal will look. Pryal called for a foul. He'll hammer it. Wow! What a great grab there by Eddie Peters on a tipped hammer from Pryal. He threw a laser in there, and what great focus by Eddie Peters, who put a lot of points up early in this game. What a fantastic grab. Spinners not all the way out of it. They'll just need to take advantage here with their O and then see what they can do. Bear pulls it in, gets it to Hairnet. They'll have to make these O points quick, too, if possible. Rainwater wanted it deep. He had his defender faked out of his shoes and Nate Castine. Hairnet will be the one to put it deep to Vinny. Let's see if he can come down with it, make another fantastic grab. And he does! Spinners with the pull. That one hangs a little bit, gets caught in one of the wind gusts that happen here occasionally at Franklin Field. Yet again, Spinners will have to pay for that. 5:58 remaining. 17-14 current up here. Around the league, the Rainmakers made it tight against the Dogfish with the return of Reed Koss. Surprisingly, to pretty much everyone around the league, midnight signing occurred. And Schaffner makes a mistake and turfs that one. It's tough to swallow. Mike Bear with it. Gets it to Leon Chow. He'll find Lindsay. Lindsay DeBraz. Who gets it to Shaw for a quick break. Spinners back within 2.
Timeout. Make sure you get your tickets ready.
Art Shaw pulling yet another delay of game penalty on the Spinners. But the bigger news is that Mark-Am Schaffner is on the sidelines for DC. It's a 2-point game. That's a travel on Sean Keegan. A big mental error. Spinners have to be patient here as the game winds down. They have to make sure that they are able to put this one in with their D-line. Leon Chow with it to Bear. Bear back to Chow. He'll look to find Bear, but Calvin Ohm says no, absolutely not. He gets Colic on the up line. He'll put it deep. If they connect on this one, they'll be big, and they do. Eddie Peters is found in the end zone by Alan Colic. 4:42 remaining. The Current able to make up for a turnover, a travel by Sean Keegan, and put it away. Their O gets it here with the chance to put it back within 2. 4:42 remaining. Hairnet with it again. This offense will have to score quickly if they're going to stay in this one, give them enough time to get those breaks needed to come back. Brando with it. He has all the time in the world. He'll throw a hammer to his boy Dave Bear in the end zone, and it connects. Spinners pulling. They want one deep. They won't get it. Calvin Ong gets it to Keegan, who made that tough travel earlier. And now Ong with a mistake, and Philly will be able to make it within one if they're able to put this one away. Matt Esser walks that disc up. He gets that 10 yards after the foul. He finds Braz. Moves it back to Esser, who calls a timeout. That's a smart timeout to take. Philly takes a timeout with 3:56 remaining in this one. Coach Billy Maroon walks off the field as he prepares his Spinners team to pull this one within one. Michael Panna, Hairnet are two of the handlers for Philly. A vert stack look, looking for an ISO. Whistle called. Hanner with it. Works it up. But a great play there by Freddie Zai will put the Current back in the driver's seat with 3:40 remaining. There's a whistle. Timeout by DC.
Timeout.
Let's see what play Kevin Moldenhauer is drawn up out of this timeout. Tough D there. But DC's still able to get a throw off. But Matt Esser with a great play to keep Philadelphia in it. He showed why he's a big pickup from the Spinners in this offseason. What a great defensive play by him there. Art Shaw with it. Works it to Braz. Braz will put it to Esser. He wants him, and he'll get him in the end zone. Great grab by Esser, and the Philadelphia Spinners are feeling it right now. Again, 18-17, 3:07 remaining for the Spinners to come back against the DC Current. Calvin Ong centers to Alan Kolick. Philly will need another stop. 3 minutes remaining. That clock is ticking. Eddie Powers moves it to Peter Pryal. Let's see if he comes up big late in this one. To Jeff Wodach, who finds Keegan. He wants Powers, and he'll get him. Alan Kolick gets it on the near side. Kolick with a great cut to the break side, and he'll find Peter Pryal to give that lead back to the Current. 2-point lead for DC. Alan Kolick showing why he is one of the best players in this league. In the second half here, to put this one away and keep DC fighting, he has, to my count, 4 assists. Just in the third and fourth quarters alone, showing why he's such a big component of this this DC offense. Philly will have to score this one early. Alex Peters running deep. He's moving deep. Matt Esser just makes a great grab, but he's hurt. Whistles blow. There's a penalty called. He'll work it up 10 yards and try again. And he does. Rainwater with it. Finds Peters. This offense working the way that Billy Maroon envisioned it. Peters cross field. Oh, and he can't come up with it. Ian McClellan. Great opportunity. But that's a foul call, and that's a goal. Art Shaw pulling. Alex Peters on that last possession really showed why he is such a huge pickup for the Philadelphia Spinners. What a fantastic throw from Ian McClellan. Even though McClellan wasn't able to come down with it, it's a little bit like pass interference in football. If you get it, your man in a situation where a foul is going to be called, you know, you get to reap the benefits, and Peters did there. 1 point game, 1:15 remaining. DC probably content just to work it amongst their handlers. They have a minute left to do so, though. Philly's going to have to take some chances on defense. Pana face guarding. Pryal with it. Matheson on him. Tough matchup. Keegan will put it deep. That was a poor decision by Sean Keegan. Just not a smart decision there.
That turnover.
It's unclear whether the Spinners have another timeout, but if they do, I would use it because that's what happens when you leave your D-line in. What a fantastic layout D by Alan Kolek. Again, 4 assists in this second half, and then that play to pretty much seal it. DC will be content just to work it amongst themselves. They don't even need to score. They just need that clock to run down. But they will score. They'll put it in. Tom Dwyer to Peter Pryal. 13 seconds remaining. This one's all but over after that amazing Alan Kolek D. Off of a Leon Chow throw. Chow definitely will want that one back. But Alan Kolek, he's known for his defensive potential. Man, what a fantastic defensive play. And they'll score one more time as the clock runs out, just for good measure.
And
that'll be it.
DC carried 21.
That'll be it. 21-18 is your final score here in Philadelphia. A great win for the DC Current. Great play by Alan Kolek, Mark M. Schaffner, who's still on the sidelines hurt after this one, as well as Peter Pryal. But Philly should be confident going into the rest of this season. They showed that their new players are really impact ones.
We have a Major League Ultimate. We'd like to thank y'all for coming out tonight.
For John Phillips and Major League Ultimate, this has been a great one. See you next week.
We also like to thank our